Welcome to part two. We're joined by Sean from Lincolnshire. Sean, Ben Eubank 2. There's no PR for it, is there?
Nope. The only thing I've seen, and it's not quite PR for the fight, I saw a 3.5 minute BBC advert for, I presume, something to make about how Eubank Senior and Junior reunited be due to Senior wanting to be there at the last minute. Nothing mentioned about Turkey giving him some money to turn up, but just Eubank Junior talking about how he misses his dad. I've watched their Gloves Are Off or whatever it's called, where it was fairly amicable but nothing else. Very understated as well, and I was expecting it to get a big push, but Eddie doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be winning bids or promoting fights actively anymore. So I don't know what's going on, but it's happening apparently. So we shall see. But no, I have not seen it, and I do watch most of the drivel that either of them says or does, but not seen much. Seen some pictures of Conor Ben with a comedian promoting the fight. That was a 1 minute clip, and that's it.
Yeah. What do you think about all this? You got a 500 grand fine, and I got a £500,000 roller hard at job. The roller story is becoming boring now, isn't it?
It is. It is. I think they've. It's tried. It's like a joke that got told once, and it wasn't that funny the first time. When you told it 35 times, you should take the hint and move on. But don't know. They've 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 got the dad back. That "where with me, my dad don't love me" story's gone. Um, Eubank obviously will can always steal the corner in a press conference and talk over Eddie and stuff. But I don't know how many angles you can sell it now. It's not going to be as heated. Obviously, his little egging him's unlikely to repeat itself. And now they're just slagging each other off. But it's a bit boring. So yeah, I can't see it having the energy, and I can't see it selling as well. So I presume Turkey's bankrolling this one again, for it to be made because I can't see it selling as well.
No. Do you feel that because Turkey's give him a guaranteed purse and then some on the upside if they hit certain targets, that the promoters and all that are not breaking the back to push it like it as if it's their show, like them who's
Yeah.
involved with it. Because it's not Eddie's show, is it? It's not. Eddie's
No.
only done two decent shows this year on his own, and that's well, the second one's the Monaco one, isn't it? Matchroom
Yeah.
solo show. The first one were Boots Ennis 33-1 on. That's it, really. You can see that they put purse strings in, aren't they? They didn't even win a purse bid for Dalton Smith.
They're putting in as much effort as Dillian did for the to sell the Tyson Fury fight. They don't seem to care. No, like I say, if it's all bought and paid for, yeah, the urgency's not there because normally Eddie will be bleating, shouting from the rooftops about it. But don't know, like I say, another symptom of for me, Eddie 1 foot out the door. And I don't know if that foot's in Sky's flat or in retirement, but he doesn't seem to be as active as he once was. And like you said, two cards in a year, and one of them was an almost guaranteed outcome. It's not the Eddie that we once knew, as annoying as he was. He did know how to push and sell a fight. So, yeah, odd times for Matchroom PLC.
Well, it remains to be seen where Eddie goes with his stable now. What we have in Big Meech, Crusher, the Lazy Rhino, Elmer Fudd, and Whittaker, the famous five.
That's bad, isn't it? Really, when between them you've got like a man that's shot. Um, two of those fighters' last fights were two of those heavy fights last fights were losses. Um, Ben's um, Ben's only thing we've heard from him was recreating a scene from a film in terms of that cringe showing with the money. He's not coming back against anyone particularly good. So yeah, he's all a bit when you consider that the cards Eddie used to have compared to now, it just seems a very, very small stable. And two of those fighters are past it, aren't they? With Joshua and Dave. Not that Dave ever had a at it thing, but it's just very, very odd. And Elmer Fudd, what's he? Nick a British title if it gets super weak at best. It's very, very, very odd.
I'm hearing Rhino's going to be a commentator in Monaco for Elmer Fudd fight.
Yep. So so he's not going to be again not preparing as he should be for his fight that he's got coming up. So like I said, he mentioned he's also getting more talk sport gigs, some more first class travel, and a few £100 to talk drivel. But yeah, and then they'll build up, like you said, because I didn't think about it first. They'll build up the trilogy, won't they, with Elmer Fudd once they've had Dave knock someone over 8 rounds. Yeah. It's getting all too predictable, even for what is often the most predictable sport.
Just a little bit. Uh, in other news, what do you make of Big Meech going to Papa Lomachenko, his eighth trainer?
Yeah, I saw that. Saw that. How are they going to? How are they going to teach um, him the tricks of Usyk? I know, and like I said, was it you? I think you mentioned that Lapin was trained by him, and it certainly wasn't a Usyk performance. So I just seem to be going around the houses. I don't know if he's got like a bucket list. I want to train with everyone before I finally retire, but I don't know. I don't. He's not improved since he left McCracken. He should have maybe taken a leaf out of Frotch's book and actually realised that sometimes it's not the trainers the reason you lose. It's because you're not good enough, or you don't do the right things and you stop doing your road work and listening to your trainer. But there's no solution in a different trainer for that man. He's got fragile whiskers. He's getting on, and he's not going to get any better. And he's certainly got to learn any new tricks because that old dog's too thick to learn them.
Well, remains to be seen, doesn't it? But do you think you can do out with him, Lomachenko?
No, no. If you get bowled over by Daniel Dubois, you ain't going to come back as a 6'6" British Nigerian Usyk. You're just not. It's not in you. It's not in you. He used to be such an exciting fighter at the beginning. Obviously, when he wasn't scared to let his hands go before he realised that he could be hurt, and they reconfigured him. But no, I don't think he will have. It might make him fight differently, like Roy Jones Jr. made Eubank fight differently. It won't make him any better though. It'll just make him look a bit different and probably inauthentic. And then he'll probably have to revert to doing what he does, what he knows how to fight, which is try and look for one straight down the pipe. But no,
If
I
he
don't think he'll
get
change a thing.
Yeah, if he gets beat in this warm up that they're saying on December 27th, he's having an 8 round run. I know you undercard. I don't see that happening, me personally. But where are we at now? Where the big commercial draw is so fragile, they don't put him in with anybody at all. And if they do, it's just going to be an 8 rounder just to check off the cobwebs. Why do we need to hear all this? I mean, the Gad came out yesterday, well, day before yesterday, actually, and he's saying both Fury and Joshua are having two warm up tune ups. Why do they need
Ew.
tune ups? Because that's 2026 gone if they have two tune ups, isn't it? So then we're looking
Yeah.
at 2027, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on. Do you see where I'm coming from?
It is like a book that's far too long and nobody wants to read to the end. Just want to see the final page. If they're going to fight, get it on. But yeah, again, the cynic in me even thinks that they'll revive the AJ Paul fight at this rate. Nothing will surprise me anymore. But yeah, they must be putting him in with someone woeful for that 8 rounder for AJ. There must be a zero risk. It must be a one-armed man or a man with his eyes tied behind his back, arms tied around his back. They must be putting him in with a nothing to be able to build that confidence up because he must be absolutely terrified of what's coming back now after his last performance. But yeah, but
Terrified.
maybe
Oh.
he must he must know that like I say when he's been beaten that soundly like I say what they going who are they going to bring him back against? They can't bring him back against anyone who can punch.
He's looked a shell of a fighter, very fragile for years, and he really, in my opinion, since the
Yeah.
Vladimir fight, right, I think Vladimir hit him that hard. It's not just confidence because he knows. Well, Frank Bruno said this years ago. He said everybody's got a plan, aren't they? Till they get it. Once they get it back, they're like, "Wow, what's going on here?" And I think that's what happened against Vladimir when he got dropped. He tried to style it out, laughing and sticking his tongue out and that. and blag his way through, making out he were all right. But let me tell you this: he's never been the same fighter since then. That's what I think, Sean.
No. And I think he was in shock for 6 rounds before rallied in the 11th. I remember watching that fight, 2017. Yeah, and he's not been the same because, like you said, when we look at his legacy, probably not legacy, resume, in hindsight, there's not much there. Like you said, an old Povetkin, an early stoppage against the gentleman whose name escapes me that Chisora sparked. Um, there's not much in there. Rui beat him, then he beat a fat Rui, and then fought a UFC fighter. When you put it all in there and in the mix, there's not too much in there. So, but I really am interested to see who he does fight, just out of sheer noseness of who do you think it could be? Who are they going to find?
Well, I don't know, but it's going to have to be some knockover job. It'll be somebody with a record where he's got a couple of losses, but the he's not really beat anybody. It'll be one of them jobs, won't it? Somebody dug up.
Yeah, yeah. I think it could be someone like that 40-year-old called Heiser or something like that. One of them. Someone that's not really going to be a threat. But like I
Well,
say,
it'll be an
they'll put.
easy one, and they'll sell it to us. Hey, it's an 8 rounder. We needed to blow cobwebs off. We're talking about Olympic gold medalist here, two-time world champion, and got an ounce of fat on him, and he's supposed to be in gym all year round. It's a lifestyle choice, isn't it? So why would he need to blow any cobwebs off, or is it just to pinch more money that he knows it's an easy win? You know, like the Ngannou fight. They must have been rubbing their hands when they got that.
Definitely, definitely. No, I think that's what it is. If he's nicking money and confidence, but if he's not going to have confidence in his mid-30s, I don't think he's going to get it again. But yeah, we shall see. What will happen, I suspect, is someone we've never heard of will pop up with a number 14 ranking with one of the sanction things the week before the fight's announced, and then he's fighting a top 15 ranked contender who can't punch that we don't know of, and we'll never hear of again afterwards. Yeah.
Who's advising him though, Joshua? Do you think, or do you think he just overthinks things too much?
No, no, because he's managed by his own management company, isn't he? 258 Management. So I don't know how that works. Um, I don't know what is obviously Eddie's makes pinches a living off him. So I don't know, but he's certainly. I don't think he's keeping consistent counsel listening because he's changing his trainer all of the time, and no, and that's never been proven to be a winning formula, is it? So he's going around the house. He's going to drop boxer size Ben, and now he's going to go to Popachenko. They ain't the problem. The problem's him. So yeah, but we'll see him knocking 8 rounder out. Then maybe have another fight, and then like you say, 2026 has gone, and we're waiting for Fury and the fight that's what 6, 7 years too late.
Do you remember when John Coffey knocked him out, and I did a video next day, and I said that's Ben Davison down the road. People went, no, 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 I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Look, Ben Davison. I'll just go on to the next guy. He's got a full stable, hasn't he? But Joshua couldn't go with Ben Davison again because if the same thing happened, he'd have regretted it all his life. And he's got rid of trainers after wins, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. So maybe it's part of the coping strategy for AJ that if you blame the trainer, move on. Mentally, you can compartmentalize it. You're going to come again with a new trainer, new look, new style, if not new style. Again, I don't know the psychology of that boxer, if any, but it does seem to be win or lose, change, rinse, repeat, because he doesn't change too much in terms of his style, does he?
No, big mouth
Just a different.
type. Eh?
No, no, no. I'm interrupting, please, Porky.
No, go on. No, you were going to say you were on about his style or something.
All he does is change it. It just changes the person walking him to the ring. There doesn't seem to be anything changing his performance or the mechanics and the structure of how he boxes and throws his shots because he's AJ and his style hasn't changed. I know he tries to, he's certainly more cautious, but he's been more cautious since 2017, hasn't he? So nothing's changed in the past 8 years, has it?
No. Do you think a case can be made for Joshua? We're all right, but he weren't a whale beater, but because he'd been marketable and he managed to fluke a Olympic gold medal when technically he only beat Zhang, didn't he, in Olympics. The other three bashed him up, didn't they, basically? Camarelli
Yeah.
punched him all over in final, didn't he? The
Oh,
Cuban
yeah.
punched him upside down in his first fight, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, but I look at it and I think you were fighting hand-picked opponents and everybody were on the AJ hype train. soon as he ran into Vladimir, an old man, nearly 42-year-old, it was like, whoa. You see what I'm coming? Because he's never really been hit since then. I know people go on
Yeah,
about Dylan White caught him and that. He shrugged that off within seconds. He didn't even win that round, Dylan White. Dylan
no,
White
he
didn't win
didn't.
a round against him. There should have never been a rematch. Well, they won't because White tested dirty, didn't he? But I just think that eventually Joshua had to fight somebody who were going to hit him back. And once he started getting it back, I didn't think he liked it, mate. Did you?
Nope, I don't think at all. Do you think there's any chance that AJ will get his confidence up if this Fury fight's away to risk stepping in with Daniel Dubois again? Because you could sell it with him. He could go because I think did he train with Don Charles a little bit once? He did have a relationship with Don. He could bring Don in and Don could spill the beans about Dubois and train him for it. That'd be interesting. But I don't think AJ would take it. But it would be fun though. It'd be fun. We'd get to hear Don Charles tell us how it really went down. Now he's been paid and he'd know everything about what doesn't happen in Daniel Dubois' camp and stuff. So that'd be a good sell, but I don't think AJ would get risked, even if he himself is willing to get to risk it against Dubois. But that could be interesting. I'm just thinking out loud now.
Well, he's had 8 trainers, and Don Charles trained him as an amateur. And Don Charles has not been picked. He's been overlooked 8 times, hasn't he? So if you haven't been to him since he turned pro, I don't think he's going to go to him now because he's been abroad looking at other people, and he's never put Don in
Yeah,
the mix, has he? So Don obviously don't know what he's doing because if he did,
no,
he'd have been training AJ. Oh, sorry, I'll take that back. AJ obviously don't rate him, does he?
no. Like I say, wishful thinking on my part on a Tuesday because I've got a day off work. Yeah, but yeah, no. Onward with Popachenko. Come back, pretend you're different. Hope you win. Keep your chin safe and see what pays next. So that's the AJ bandwagon.
Yeah. Speaking of Daddy Don Charles, he's piping up with 90-minute podcasts now, doing kiss and tells about him and John Coffey. What do you make of it all that? He looks like he's
Well,
still trying to be friends with him, doesn't it?
he does. He does. I don't know what he's signed in terms of as part of his when he did exit. I don't know what contractual relationships they have in place and stuff to be nice or something. But yeah, it's very interesting. I want to find out what really happened though as well. But maybe I don't know, Don Charles. Um, he's taken a lot of crap over the years from fighters, starting with Derek and if not before. So. I don't know if we'll ever hear the truth. But yeah, I don't know if he got paid handsomely to keep his to not say too much because um but yeah, I listened in for half an hour and I realized I wasn't going to find out too much. So I stopped listening as well. But then again, like I say, Don Charles does talk a lot of tripe as well. I remember him telling us his son George Fox was going to be the next big thing until he lost to Kamil Sokolowski. So perhaps he doesn't know too much.
Well, that were a guy he'd had from debut, his son George Fox, and he don't look like he's at the race. He's a big old unit, like, but he don't look like he's at the races, does he?
No, he's a university educated man who should stick to doing something using his brain because he's certainly not got the ability with his fists.
Yeah. Looking back though on AJ's career, who would you say is his best win?
40 plus Klitschko in a life and death.
Who,
Um,
who would
that
you
were his best. That was his best win, I think.
who would you say is Fury's best win?
Hmm. Wilder 2 before we knew what Wilder would become because he aged very, very badly.
What
But
about Fury's best win before Wilder?
his best gift was the first fight with McDonald because he lost. Oh, we can't say
Would
the
you say
first world title.
Vladimir's Fury's best win after Wilder 2
Yes,
in a stinker?
yes, yes, I would. Yes,
Well,
which
Fury's
is sad,
approach,
really, isn't it?
yeah. Fury's approaching 38. Joshua's approaching 37 next birthday. Right. If we don't get it next year, what we're going to have Fury in his approaching 39 and him approaching 38. It'd be like a Manny Pacquiao job, won't it?
Yeah, we're
Or
going to have two
Mayweather.
fighters with a combined age of nearly 80. Certainly not the peak of the power. I know heavyweights go on longer, but they are both past their best. And whilst AJ lives in the ring, his whiskers are brittler than brittle. And Tyson Fury certainly doesn't live the right life because he does more Netflix than fights. So it's going to be just. I've no idea who will win either. I suspect Fury, but I've no idea because I don't know what iteration and version of Fury will walk to the ring. Because he never looks in shape anyway, but sometimes he's fit without looking it. So I really don't know. But it's going to be a bemusing one, and everyone will tune in and pay 25 quid to watch it as well because the mugs.
Okay. Do you want to go on to part three, Sean?
See you in a second, Porky.
Cheers, mate. Right. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Porky's Corner was brought to you by Spartan Demolition. Hop, hop, bang. We'll see you on part three. Let me know what you think about part two in the comment section. Booyaka.